The Tragedy of Cinema podcast is intended as a family-friendly program that by extension strives to be inclusive to all people regardless of their ethnicity, gender, creed, or any other identifying factors in this incredibly diverse world of ours. With that said, some of the films we discuss may contain serious subject matters or have content considered morally objectionable by today's standards. We do not intend to condone or dismiss these aspects of these films, but our primary focus will be on what we believe the film succeeds at, some fun facts, and our personal enjoyment factors of each film. With that said, we hope you enjoy the show.
Jimbo and Bond take flight. 80s dreams are its delight. In the realm of black and white, movies and TV flow through the stories we all know. Silver screen tales unfold in the magic they bestow. The tragedy of cinema, when memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most.
I fear that the only way to stop those possessed by the spirits of the book is through the act of bodily dismemberment.
I don't care what happens to her. She's your girlfriend. You take care of her.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Tragedy of Cinema podcast. I'm your host, Jimbo, and today I'm joined once again by You Know Him, You Love Him.
Hey, this is Bond in Texas.
Bond, tonight we are doing a movie that has quickly become a cult classic over the years. One I haven't seen in a while. I've always liked it, but going back and watching it for the first time in a while, it brings a new perspective to things.
This movie's crazy over the top, man.
When's
this movie's no hold bars.
What movie are we talking about, Bond? And when is the last time that you watched this before we watched it for this episode?
You know what? This is a movie I come back to every once in a while. We're talking about the 1981/1983 version of The Evil Dead. It's crazy. It's one of those movies that I saw, and then maybe like 5 or 6 years later, I watched again. And then a few years later, I watched again. And then the remakes came out just recently within the last few years, and I went back and watched the original again.
Yep. So I there's going to be a lot of trivia on this. We already know. So Bob, we'll go ahead and just jump right on into it.
Yeah, no worries, man. Let me break down some of the official stats and those kind of things. Now, the reason I said this is a 1981/1983 horror movie, Evil Dead, is because it has two really separate release dates. It came out in 1981, October 15th, in one theater in Detroit, Michigan.
One theater.
But it must have ran there for a while because it had a national release date of April 15th, 1983. So like a year and a half later, it's released nationwide. But initially it came out in 81 at this one theater in Detroit, which I thought was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
This movie was a huge hit. This is one of those shoestring budget, let's just figure it out on the fly and make a movie that ended up being a cult classic. The budget for this movie, Jimbo, in 1981 was $375,000.
Do you know that Bruce Campbell actually, he put up like his house to make this movie? It was his house or his parents' house or something like that to get the money to invest to make this movie. I thought that was just ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying. And like he got his friend, they got friends and family and people they knew from school to be in the movie. And so it was just hey, here's a bunch of college kids that want to make a scary movie. And it ended up being this movie here. At the theater, it did $29 million. So a $375,000 investment.
So it's kind of like, for those that may have been born later in life, kind of like what the Blair Witch Project did and how much money it made off the budget that it had.
Exactly. Or another reference might be like Paranormal Activity.
Mm-hmm.
Has the same kind of numbers. I translated it to 2026 money. This movie would have been made for $1.3 million and grossed $105 million at the box office. So it did 100-fold of what was invested in it. Amazing numbers. This movie is directed by now the legendary Sam Raimi, but at the time, not so legendary. We know Sam Raimi from his Spider-Man movies. He's done 3 Spider-Man movies. He did the Oz Great and Powerful, and he did all 3 of the first Evil Dead movies.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like I said, he kind of got his friends and family involved in this one. This movie stars Bruce Campbell as Ash Williams. He was in the movie Maniac Cop, and he was also in a couple episodes of Xena on TV.
Xena
Warrior Princess. It's got Ellen Sandweiss as Cheryl Williams. I guess that plays his sister. She was in a movie called Satan's Playground. And Oz Great and Powerful. So like Sam Raimi likes to move. He likes to work with people he knows. He brings them into the industry and keeps them around. We have Richard Demancier as Scotty. We have Betsy Baker as Ash's girlfriend Linda, who was also in Oz Great and Powerful. We have Teresa Tilly as Shelley, and even Sam Raimi himself comes out as a little cameo as the fisherman. And that's kind of your cast for this one.
Yeah, it wasn't a very big cast.
It has a runtime of about 85 minutes.
Yep, and it's a quick get in, get out.
Yeah, it's a great little movie, man.
So before we start talking about the movie, let's talk about the camera angles in this. This thing was shot ridiculous. I love it. It's just almost ad nauseum at times.
Yeah, it's like he attaches a camera to his dog or something. That's what it felt like as it was going through the woods.
Well, I know like at the beginning when the evil supposedly hunting him down, I think it was Sam Raimi on one side of a 2x4 and
Bruce Campbell
thank
on the
you.
other side?
On the other side, they had the camera mounted on the 2x4 and they were running it through the woods like that. It's in the trivia, I do believe.
That's crazy, man.
So, Bond,
the camera angles are great.
What would you say the plot of the movie is before we go dive into the movie? What would you say if you gave like a quick 1 or 2 sentence synopsis of this movie?
Elevator pitch.
To try to drag people in to see this movie.
No problem, man. I think the quick elevator pitch version of this is some kids go into the woods, they discover the Book of the Dead, and release demons. It's that simple.
Pretty simple. Pretty simple. So let's talk about
how many times has it been done since then? We've seen this theme like over and over again now.
Right. Matter of fact, was it Cabin Fever that we watched? And
yeah, exactly.
Cabin in the Woods that you watched.
Yeah, which is even a better movie.
So let's talk about this movie. So of course the 5 kids, are going to this cabin. The remote cabin. And if you remember, they cross a shaky bridge at the beginning and Cheryl's like, I don't feel so good crossing this bridge. It's kind of uneasy. And they come
part
up.
of the bridge breaks and like their tire gets stuck in a hole at one time.
Yeah, they're coming up to the this cabin, and boy, it looks like it needs some TLC, man. This thing is dilapidated, just isolated. It's decaying in parts, and it's very unsettling.
Was this Ash's idea? Was this his cabin that he knew somebody who knew somebody?
I think it was Scotty, wasn't it? Scotty, and because he goes up there, he's like,
Scotty goes, "Hey, I got a guy."
He's like, "Wait, there's a key. I know where there's a key." Remember when he reaches up top above the door frame and he grabs the key, and so they decide, hey, they're starting to get to know each other, and what do you think of that swing that was dink, 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 keeps hitting the side of the house, and then it stops when he opens it. Right, it's pretty crazy.
That's a good little twist right there. This is the kind of cabin that you go to if you're like one of those, I'm trying to escape from the law, hide from the lawman cabins in the middle of nowhere.
I kind of picture like what moonshiners would hide their stuff in, trying to keep
exactly.
it away from the law. Yeah. So let's talk about that first night in the cabin. What'd you think about the trap door that burst open in the living room? What'd you think about the trap door?
Man, if I was in that cabin, that would have scared me crazy. Are you kidding me? First off, how about the red flag that you have a trap door in the middle of the cabin? This cabin is so remote, so out in the middle of nowhere. It's torn apart. It's falling apart, but yet they have a cellar door that's got like a chain on it.
Well, not only that,
you can chain it shut.
Not only that, but Ash and Scotty get the bright idea, hey, we're going to go down there. Let's see what's down there, right?
Yeah. Well, before this, Cheryl's drawing a picture. Remember, she like has drawn the picture of this clock, and she's drawn a picture of like this old grandfather clock looking thing, and the clock stops, and she hears this voice,
"Join us,
join us," and her hand goes crazy, and she's like trying to hold her hand still. She's drawing this picture of a book with a face on the cover. And I was like, what is this about? Already this movie's over the top.
It was almost like one of those like those remote viewings,
that's what it reminded me of too. Yeah, right. Remote viewing kind of drawing.
But it has a very distinct picture on the face of that book too when she gets done with it. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was like a little rectangle. It's got a face on it, and the face is all gross looking too. But here's what's weird. She doesn't say anything to anybody about it.
No.
Like
Would you?
Say, I guess not. I mean, you ripped up.
Look at this kindergarten drawing I drew.
Yeah,
I don't remember
the book
doing
itself is all ripped up by the time she's done with it. So they're like, "Oh, that's very good, Cheryl. Good job."
It's like a parent that your little boy or daughter comes to you and they're like, "Hey, look at the drawing I did, Mommy." "Oh, that's very good."
"Oh, that's great. What is it?"
And you're like, "Man, that belongs homicidal maniac material right there."
Yeah, Cheryl is definitely not very artistic, but she did the best she could considering that her arm or her hand was possessed at the time.
Right.
But you're right, man. The cellar door pops open.
And here goes Ash and Scotty down there. Bond, would you have went down there?
No. I mean, okay. Would adult me go down there now?
No, because you're too old. You couldn't get back up.
I could be like, I don't know, my knees. Those steps look kind of steep. No, but you got to put yourself in Ash. You got to put yourself in their position. They got to impress the ladies, man.
Oh, yeah.
This thing pops open. They can't just say, I'm too afraid to go down in the hole. Scotty and Ash have to, in front of the girls, save face and go down into the cellar door.
And what do they find down there in the cellar after they're looking around, right? They find a tape recorder. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
With some tape. Yeah.
One of those old reel-to-reel type deals.
Yeah, they find a strange book, which we later learned to find out is what, Bond?
Now, I remember this book being the Necronomicon.
Necronomicon.
Right?
Yep.
But it does have other names in this story, which I found interesting. Right? They call it the Naturum Diamanto. Right? The Naturum Diamanto or something like that. Like a Sumerian book. Ancient Sumerian book. And they find, like you're saying, they find the tape recorder. And was there candles and stuff down there around it, like on the table?
It's basically the Book of the Dead is what it is, right? Like the Egyptian Book of the Dead is what it is. So, yeah, and they found a dagger. That dagger was pretty. That dagger was cool looking. Had like little skulls on it. Yeah.
Pretty cute.
Pretty cute. So they haul this stuff upstairs. They're fine, just showing everybody what they got. And they decide that they're going to sit around and they're going to play the tape. So far, I'm on their side. Are you?
Yeah, because I'm going, you know what? We're here. We find the cellar door pops open. Must be the wind. There's no wind in the cabin. But they decide to go down there. They find this stuff. They're smart enough not to keep it down there. They bring it up. At least they don't do all this stuff in the cellar. They bring it up into the living room.
I think they should have stayed in the cellar. It would have been really cool.
If you have a tape recorder, Jimbo, you're going to play it.
Oh, well, of course.
So far, I'm on their side. That's what I'm saying. You pull it up. You start playing the tape recorder to see, what does it sound like? What's on it? It might be ancient Beatles recordings for all you know. You might be rich.
Right. So what's on this tape? There's a professor on there, and he's basically describes the Necronomicon, if you will, and he starts reciting incantations. And what just happens when you start, inciting incantations, reciting, what's going to happen?
In 2026, you know better. In 1981, you probably didn't know any better. But nowadays, you'd be like, no, stop playing the tape. Turn it off. Rip it up. Never, ever read out ancient Egyptian, Sumerian, Latin.
Try to pronounce things you can't read.
Yeah, any ancient text, never read it out loud, especially if it comes with a book with a human face on it.
So what happens? They accidentally summon the demonic force that is in the woods that we saw earlier in the movie.
So help me out with this part, Jimbo, because this part's always kind of confused me. Was the demonic possession, the demonic being already loose?
No,
or did they release it?
Well, here's my Jimbo explanation. Evil's always in the world, Bond.
True that.
But until you give it I'll say a home or a need or an invite, like Dracula has to be invited, then terrible things can happen, I do believe. So poor Cheryl, she's going to go outside and draw, right?
Oh, poor Cheryl.
Now, I'm telling you what, this right here, folks, if you get offended easily or you're easily triggered, this movie may not be for you, because this is where the evil chases down Cheryl and basically a tree rapes Cheryl is the best way I could put it.
She's sexually assaulted by an elm.
By an elm. Like vines tie around her legs and arms around her neck and hold her down and cut her. And she escapes, but she goes running through the woods, right? She's like, they're alive. The trees are alive.
She's like the evil anti-Lorax.
Yeah, or Treebeard. Treebeard's got me.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, so this is the point of the movie where you're either along for the ride
or you turn it off.
You're going to turn it off and say, this movie's too much. True?
True.
This is the point. Because even if you're like, you know what? I like scary movies. And you start watching it and you go down to the cellar with them. You hear the incantation. You hear those scary voices with the scary camera angles. You're along for the ride. This early scene divides the crowd. This is what divides the fans. Because you're either saying, this is too much, I'm not watching this anymore, I don't know what this movie is, or you're like, that was the coolest thing I ever saw.
And then you got the other be like, wow, that was wild. I wonder if it can get worse, right? What else can this guy think of?
Believe me, at the end of this movie, no one walks out going, I can't believe that tree raped Cheryl.
Yeah. So, Bond, let's think about this, though. If you were one of the backers of the movie and they brought this scene to you and said, hey, here's a scene we're going to shoot, well, how would you feel? I'd be like, I don't know if I want my name tied to that.
I would definitely want to know how they were going to film that scene. What are you going to show? How are you going to show it? How much of it is implied? I would want to know how they're shooting that scene for sure. So
Cheryl comes back to the cabin, right? She's banging on the doors and she comes running in. And all her friends are like, what's going on? Oh, the trees are alive. They're trying to get me. And she's bleeding and all that. And, the group kind of dismisses her story as hysterical, I would say, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah, definitely, man.
And not only that, but now, what's her name? Linda, right? Ash is trying to comfort Linda. And then there's some tension there too. So, is this the part where he's got her on the couch and he's going to give her something? Do you remember? Was he giving her that box? And what was it?
Oh yeah. I think that happens a little bit later.
Oh, okay.
I think like right now, like you said, she comes back and Linda and Shelley end up playing cards. You know what I'm saying? They're like playing cards and they're trying to guess what cards are being flipped. It's kind of like an ESP type game.
The spades. I think they're playing spades.
Yeah. And then Cheryl, who's not even paying attention, she's looking out the window. She starts naming all the cards. She's like 2 of hearts, 3 of diamonds. She starts naming all the cards like crazy. And then her eyes go white, Jimbo.
Oh, yeah.
Her eyes go white because she is officially possessed by whatever demonic forces are in this cabin.
Don't they call them Deadites in this universe?
Yes,
I do
Deadites.
believe.
In fact, the whole Evil Dead franchise, they're famous for the Deadites now. But this is the first one.
So then she starts beginning to levitate too, if I remember right.
You're right. Yeah, she starts floating around.
What'd you think of that raspy voice she had?
Oh, I love it. Her face is so gross. The makeup effects on such a limited budget were amazing.
Oh, and you're getting ready to see
She's
one right
just
here is
so
where she
creepy.
takes that pencil and stabs Linda right in the ankle with that pencil,
Ouch.
man. Oh.
Ouch, yes.
And then I think she doesn't she toss Ash right here, like across the room, and he hits like a shelf.
Ash
or
gets thrown
bookshelf or
across the
something,
room and smashes in the shelf.
and it falls on top of him. Poor Ash.
So the Deadite Cheryl is much stronger than normal Cheryl. In fact, I think it takes Scott to like push her down into the cellar.
They lock her in the cellar.
Yeah. They like stand on the door. They push down on the door. They take the chain and they chain up the door to the cellar. But what's the best part of this movie is the fact that the door, even when locked, doesn't shut all the way.
Yeah, and she keeps peeking out. Remember? I was like, hands are coming out.
That's my favorite part.
I know.
It opens up like 3 inches. So she pops open the door like 3 inches off the floor and she just kind of peeks out. The little demon face pops out and she's watching the whole thing.
Now, let me ask you this question, Bond. If she's strong enough to toss Ash across the room and all this other stuff, why couldn't she just rip the door off the cellar? Do you think she was just staying down there on purpose, playing with them, toying them?
I think that might have something to do with it. Maybe the archaeologist in which this cabin belonged to, maybe there's like a blessing or something they put on the lock or on the door. Yeah. So maybe there's some kind of protection spell put on this lock.
So now, not only are you in a creepy cabin in the middle of the woods, now you have a creepy something locked underneath you in this house as well.
Yeah, I just leave.
Well, they attempt to, don't they? Was it Ash and Linda? Don't they attempt to leave?
Yep, exactly, man.
What
they do
happens?
Exactly what everyone should do. If you have a zombie-possessed girl in the cellar locked up, the best thing to do is grab the keys and drive away.
But there's only one problem. The bridge is now gone. Destroyed.
It's destroyed. They're stuck. And it was a shaky thing to do during the day. There's no way they can cross this thing at night. That's what they were worried about, but they don't even have to make that decision because when they get there, when they get there is no bridge. It is done.
Yeah, and that was a pretty intense scene because they get separated or whatever there for a minute too. But now, not only do you have one locked in the cellar, now we have Linda. She's starting to act a little weird when they get back to the cabin now too.
Mm-hmm. Shelley goes to her room and she's looking out the window. There's a demon looking through the window. We don't really see the demon, but it's like the demon's point of view and it crashes through the window and attacks her. So everybody's pretty much turning into these deadites, like you're saying.
Right. And then she starts attacking, was it Shelley that starts attacking Scott? Was it Scott she was attacking?
Yeah, Scott's getting attacked.
And he pushes her into the fireplace, remember?
Oh, that was so cool, man.
And then he stabs her in the back with the dagger, right? And you think he killed her. But not so fast. Because she reanimates.
How does a Sumerian dagger not kill a demon? That's weird.
I don't know. But he does dismember her with the axe, remember?
Oh, well, that's actually on the recording. The recording says something to the effect of the only way to stop them is total dismemberment. And you don't have to tell Scott twice, man. He grabs a shovel and just starts tearing her up bits and pieces and buries the remains.
Yeah. And then I think Linda also attacks Ash, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so, man.
Wait a minute. Does he... Ash stabs Linda with the dagger, right? If I remember right.
I think Scott does. I think Scott's the one that stabs her.
Does he? Because I thought Ash buries Linda outside.
Not yet, because at first,
or does Scott leave first? Does he take her outside
Ash
and bury her?
checks on
right?
Linda, realizes that she's become possessed, and then she attacks Ash, who stabs her. Then you're right. Then he stabs her with a dagger, but he can't cut off her head because that's like his girlfriend.
I like when he goes down to the base or the shed or whatever. He gets the chainsaw out, and he can't do it. He saw her, right?
No, not yet. He's not chainsaw ready.
Yeah, so he goes to bury her, but she comes back alive too and starts attacking him again, forcing him to do anything any man would do in that situation.
You got to take her head
decapitates her with a shovel, right?
You have to now at this point. You gave her a chance and she blew it.
Oh, what about the blood that just squirted all over his face? Right.
Oh man,
the body is trying to attempt to rape him too. I do believe.
I think so. But
she dies.
Okay, so she's dead, right?
But what happened to poor Scott? He went outside and buried what's her head, right? And it was pretty cool when they started dismembering. Like the hands were still moving around, right? And he takes her. He tries to escape, and the trees attack him. He gets like impaled with some sort of wood piece, member in the gut or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And when Ash and him are talking, this thing gets so bloody so quick. You don't know what's coming next. It's pretty amazing.
At this point, Ash is pretty much the only one that's not a deadite, who's not some possessed zombie creature, right? Because Scott has reanimated into a deadite. Ash has barricaded the door, trying to keep everybody out. Somehow, Cheryl has escaped the cellar.
That's why I said I think she was just toying with him.
Yeah, so Cheryl's out, and he kind of thinks that, well, doesn't she change her voice at one time?
Yeah, but she was please let me out of here. Yeah, like normal Cheryl voice.
Yeah, and so he's like, what happened?
But there was also that weird scene where he's sitting there and the clock speeds up. He sees blood oozing down the walls and objects moving on their own and stuff like that. So he doesn't know if it's real or if he's in a nightmare. He doesn't know what's happening. So, but we're coming down to a final confrontation between Cheryl, who is continuing to attack Ash. And not only that, but now you have Linda that reanimates and now helping fight Ash. And Ash is fighting them both together. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty much him versus everybody at this point.
And they're choking him, right? He's got the Necronomicon, and he's like, he's trying to throw it into the fire. Mm-hmm. And, he's got a belt or something, doesn't he? He's trying to reach it with the belt buckle to pull it back to him to pitch it into the fire. So
yeah, he throws it into the fireplace, and that makes a difference. The deadites kind of decompose.
They start melting away.
They start to rot and melt away instantly. It's pretty cool, man.
But
so
what happens? Dawn has arrived.
Mm-hmm.
You see Ash bloodied from head to toe. He steps outside, takes a deep breath, and he gives that little smile of relief of, oh, it's over. Finally.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens, Bond?
You see that camera angle demon racing through the woods just going over there and attacks him at the end.
Yeah, and it freezes. I think the last scene is Ash screaming, and it ends. So that movie right there is just something else. It's.
But we know he makes it because there's sequels.
Is it the same Ash or is it an alternate universe?
I think it's the same guy, man.
Yeah, I think so too. So let's talk a little bit about this trivia for this movie. So the cabin that was used as this film set was also lodging for all 13 crew members, with several people sleeping in the same room. Living conditions were terrible, and the crew frequently argued. The cabin didn't have plumbing, so the actors went days without showering and fell ill frequently in the freezing weather. By the end of productions, they were burning furniture to stay warm. So,
Man, that's what you call dedicated to the craft.
and they did, at the end of filming this, they did put together a little time capsule, and they buried it inside the fireplace in the cabin as a memento of the production to whomever found it. Can you imagine being the person that found that? But
I would be so scared.
the cabin
if I
has
found that
since
thing.
been destroyed, and only the fireplace is still intact. So I wonder if it's still buried there and nobody's ever claimed it. Road trip.
You know what? I had heard that the cabin had burned down, and it's kind of sad.
Yep. So yeah, it was Bruce Campbell's family's property in northern Michigan as collateral, so that Sam Raimi could not only finish this film but also blow it up to 35 millimeter, which was required for theatrical releases. So Raimi was so grateful for him doing that for his financial contribution that he credited Bruce Campbell as co-producer. So the original
that makes sense. That makes sense why it was like released at different times in different places. I bet.
Right. The original script called for all the characters to be smoking marijuana when they were all first listening to the tape. The actors decided to try this for real, and the entire scene had to be later reshot due to their uncontrollable behaviors. So
That's awesome, man.
So the demon of uncontrollability got him. After completing principal photography in the winter of 79 to 80, most of the actors left the production. However, there was still much of the film to be completed. Most of the second half of the film features Bruce Campbell and various stand-ins, or as they like to call them in Hollywood, fake shimps, to replace the actors that left. So that's pretty cool. Let's talk about the fake blood. What they used,
All right.
the main ingredient was Caro syrup, non-dairy creamer, and lots of food coloring. At one point, Bruce
Very
Campbell's shirt that he wears in the film was so saturated with the fake blood that after drying it by the fire, the shirt became solidified and broke when he tried to put it on.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, that Caro syrup, man, that stuff's thick, thick, thick.
Andy Granger, a friend of Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi, gave them this advice. Fellas, no matter what you do, keep the blood running down the screen. And they did include this in the finished film where remember when the blood runs down the projector screen as tribute to him? Remember that? That was pretty cool.
I had heard that they used chickens, like they stabbed chickens, and that was like the sound that you hear whenever they're stabbing into flesh. It's really them stabbing into chickens.
Well, I think it was a Halloween. They were stabbing watermelons. I don't remember something like that.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
In an interview, Betsy Baker said that when she learned that the producers were interested in having her star in a horror movie, she was so suspicious she would only meet them in a public restaurant. Hey, we got this film we want you to be in, right? You have two guys come up to her. The eerie wind noise in the movie was recorded by Sam Raimi. He first heard it through his bedroom window while he was trying to sleep and thought it would be perfect for the movie. So,
very cool.
Yep.
I heard that Stephen King loves this movie, man.
Oh yeah, I definitely. And not only that, but the remake was really good too.
Yeah. Stephen King saw this movie at the Cannes Film Festival and gave it a thumbs up, and actually mentions it as one of his top 5 horror movies of all time.
Yeah, I wonder if he's changed his mind now that some other movies have came out.
That's true. This was like in 1981, or 83. So
right. The white contact lenses were very painful to wear. They covered half the eye and had to be taken out every 15 minutes to allow the eyes to breathe. Man, I don't know if I could wear contacts for a movie. Could you?
No, not if I had to take them out every 15 minutes. That's crazy.
It was originally going to be titled Book of the Dead, Bond, but producer Irvin Shapiro changed the title to The Evil Dead for fear that kids would be turned off seeing a movie with a literary reference.
That's hilarious. We can't put the word book in our movie. Nobody will watch it.
On the very first day of shooting, during a scene shot on a bridge, the crew got lost in the woods.
Oh, my goodness.
Can you imagine getting lost there?
Yeah, so what did they do? They just yelled out, help, help, we're stuck.
I don't know. They didn't have GPS back then.
Exactly. They'll show up eventually.
Yeah. One of the most intricate moments during editing was the stop motion sequence where the corpses melted, which took hours to cut properly. I bet. I love stop motion animation, though.
Me too.
Sequence, I think, is pretty good.
Ray Harryhausen, baby.
Clash of the Titans. Still one of the best ever. Several actors had inadvertently been stabbed or thrown into objects during production. Bruce Campbell twisted his ankle on a root when running down a steep hill, and Sam Raimi and Rob Tappert decided to tease him by poking his injuries with sticks, thus causing Campbell to have an obvious limp in some scenes. A cameraman slipped during filming, smashing his camera into Bruce Campbell's face and knocking out several of the actor's teeth. Can you imagine?
Man, he gave everything for this movie. Well, I guess if his parents' house was on the line, he's like, I could lose a couple teeth.
Did you notice the rip poster of The Hills Have Eyes from 1977 that's visible?
I did notice The Hills Have Eyes.
There's also
cool.
a reference, the rip poster for Jaws in 1975. It was a reference to where Jaws did it. So he interpreted it as Wes Craven suggested that Hills was much more frightening than Jaws. Thus, they showed a ripped Hills poster because their film was to be even scarier. So pretty funny when you get a little, back and forth between directors like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like, oh yeah, if you think your movie's scary, watch this.
So Bruce Campbell received numerous injuries during the making of this film. A noticeable one caught on film is the scene where a possessed Cheryl's hand bursts through the cabin floor to seize Ash by the face. A trickle of Campbell's actual blood runs down his head as the actor was gashed in the head by the puppeteer in the floor who blindly grabbed for Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't remember when this was shot. I think it was in February, but the temperatures were so cold at the time shooting that the camera and other wiring froze. They then had to be thawed out by the fireplace inside the cabin. I don't know, man. I don't know if I could. If I'm going to be, I have to be on a set in Hollywood or something if I'm going to do something, or on location somewhere not freezing. I guess
a lot of these actresses and actresses, they didn't get paid, or if they did, it wasn't much, man, for all this work.
Yeah. At the premiere screenings of The Evil Dead, blood donor stations were giving free tickets to the movie along with pin badges stating, "I bled for The Evil Dead," to blood donors. Robert Taper joked in an interview that this was their way of giving blood back to the community after so much fake blood was used when filming.
That's cute.
Because of the low budget, contact lenses as thick as glass had to be applied to the actors to achieve the demonic eye effect. The lenses took 10 minutes to apply and can only be left on for about 15 minutes because the eyes could not breathe with them applied. Bruce Campbell later commented that to get the effect of wearing these lenses, they had to put Tupperware over your eyes.
Whoa.
Bond, you own any of the Tupperware, do you?
I think probably a couple classic
orange and lime and all that.
I used to have one when I was a kid that you would pour the juice in and then you'd put it in the freezer and make those little pops,
No, I'm not that old.
Make little popsicles. Make homemade popsicles.
Oh, man.
We couldn't afford store-bought popsicles. We just made orange juice popsicles.
During the scene where Linda is possessed, the makeup artist originally wanted her to make her look like a snake-like creature, as can be seen when Ash is dragging her outside, filmed before the scene indoors with her singing the creepy song. Her makeup was dark and a little more greenish, but eventually they changed the makeup to the evil doll face look. The white liquid that often emits from the possessed after they're injured or maimed is 2% milk that Sam Raimi chose to use, not just to show how the possessed aren't normal beings, but also to mix it up so the MPAA wouldn't give the film an X rating. Ultimately, the film was released unrated.
I think that makes sense, dude. I don't see this having an R rating back then for sure.
Yeah. Inspired by William Castle, Sam Raimi had ambulances on standby as a publicity stunt at the film's premiere, so I thought that was pretty funny.
Nice.
This was one of the highest rated video rentals of its year. So what was that, 1981?
I could kind of see that because if it had a limited theatrical release and it was mostly word of mouth, man, you got to see this movie. This movie's over the top. All it takes is one junior high, middle school boy to watch this movie, and every single middle school boy would want to see this movie. It would spread like wildfire through the school.
In Germany, the film was released in theaters and on video the same day to avoid problems with the censorship boards. It was banned soon afterward, though, but dominated the top 10 in the few weeks of its release. The ban wasn't lifted until July 2016, after Sony Pictures Home Entertainment lawyers convinced 3 German courts to revise decisions on at least 5 different movie bans. Unreal. But that was probably pretty smart of releasing the home video and the theater at the same time. That was pretty good. I'm sure.
To kind of get around it.
Yeah. The tape recorder found in the cabin actually belonged to Bruce Campbell's father. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
During the scene involving the unseen force in the woods watching the character, Sam Raimi had to run through the woods with a makeshift rig, jumping over logs and stones, which often proved difficult due to the mist in the swamp area. Ted Raimi was used as a substitute in many scenes where the original actor was either busy or preoccupied. This is actually Bruce Campbell's feature debut and Sam Raimi's, so I thought that was pretty cool too. Production would frequently be halted when local hunters wandered into the location.
That's awesome.
Can you imagine?
And cut, guys, cut.
Oh, I'm surprised somebody didn't get shot while they were out there.
Especially when they're running through the forest with those cameras.
Yeah.
On 2x4s.
Yeah.
Surprised one of them didn't get shot right there, just running through the woods like that.
Or especially all the screaming going on. Maybe they thought somebody was actually being attacked. The voice of the professor on the tape recording is that of American Movie Classics host Bob Dorian.
Cool.
Lucy Lawless, who is Xena Warrior Princess we love, saw the film upon its release. She was appalled, particularly by the infamous vine rape sequence, and wondered what kind of horrible people would make such a film. Ironically, she would later marry the film's producer, Rob Tappert, who had actually insisted on making the scene more sexually violent, and work in production directed and produced by Sam Raimi of Xena, a small cameo in Spider-Man, and as Ruby in Ash vs. the Evil Dead. Have you watched Ash vs. the Evil Dead, Bond?
Yes, I love it.
I think it's really good. Show. It is. Cigarette smoke stood in for dust caught in sunlight when Scott first opens the cabin door. I thought that was pretty cool. So, when Ash shoots a deadite through the window of the cabin, causing an explosion of blood, Bruce Campbell was actually firing real-life ammunition at a dummy, causing the scene to look more realistic. And they also shot it through the window, too, so they broke the window, too. Let's see here. Betsy Baker lost her eyelashes in the process of removing her facial mold.
Oh, nice.
Oh, this was one of the first films to be labeled as a video nasty in the UK and was banned because of this. I've never heard video nasty. Have you?
No, I've never heard that before, but man, that is so cool. Hey, how would you like to go out and read a video nasty?
It was pretty cool when Ash reaches for that necklace on the floor. That's what he was trying to get that book with, was the necklace. Remember the necklace that he gave her?
Oh, yeah, not a belt, but a necklace.
And it changes in the shape of a skull. Hey, Bond, see if this won any awards. I thought I saw it won at least one.
All right, let me check.
As I'm going through some of this other stuff. So let's see here. Without any formal assistance from location scouts, they had to find filming locations on all their own. So Steve Frankel was the only carpenter on set, which made him the art direction's sole contributor. The ragtime song that plays on the Victrola is in the cellar at the opening and of the closing credit is the Charleston. Bond, do you know the Charleston?
Charleston, dun, 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 dun. No, but I know like the
in the
song.
comic series Marvel's Zombies, it is revealed that Ash somehow ends up in a parallel Marvel universe and ends up being the cause of that universe becoming zombified.
Ooh.
The gun that was used for Ash's boomstick was an actual working shotgun, and actual shots were fired while filming. We've talked about this. The hanging bones in the work shed and the hanging gourds in the cellar were Sam Raimi's homage to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Very cool.
The crew initially attempted to shoot the film in Sam Raimi's hometown of Royal Oak, Michigan, but instead chose Morristown, Tennessee, as Tennessee was the only state that expressed enthusiasm for the project. Oh, man. Although Turkish TV networks are notorious for making too many cuts to horror films, The Evil Dead was broadcast in a midnight showing in 1995 on a cable network, of course, with all the scenes intact, including the scenes that were often cut from various European and American screenings or even video releases. So here we go. Ellen Sandweiss said that the tree scene would be filmed in a different way today as it was done then. Quote, yes, I'm sure the tree scene would be done differently if it was filmed today. First, I'm not sure that it would be characterized as a tree rape, as Sam Raimi has since said he regrets that it ended up that way. I think it would have gone back to what was originally intended and mentioned in the script, trees coming to life and attacking Cheryl, which would also satisfy today's most feminist audiences and actresses. And I'm sure that CGI would be used instead of the reverse filming or whatever it's called to show vines wrapping around me, she said.
That makes sense, man. I think that scene right there, it does stick out as like, whoa, that's over the top. And
it's kind of uncomfortable. It kind of gets uncomfortable.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, it doesn't look like it won any awards. It was critically acclaimed, though. I mean, a lot of critics really liked it. A lot of it got an 86 on Rotten Tomatoes. It got a 71 out of 100 on this other ranking system. It's right up there with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Night of the Living Dead. Those kind of movies are all in this little rating system. The Film 4 rated The Evil Dead a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So if you're a horror buff or you know anything about horror movies, this one sticks out as being really, really good. I don't see any awards that it won, but it, it spawned video games, television shows, multiple sequels, multiple comic books.
Oh, yeah. And they also paid homage to a lot of other movies, like the moan-like eerie sound effect that heard when the spirit of the book dies is also used in The Lawnmower Man in 1992, which, cool. I mean, they took that from The Evil Dead. So the sound of the clock chiming when Ash emerges from the basement near the end of the film comes from the movie The Time Machine. So, Bond, there's 100 other things here we could talk about. I'm just going to go through real quick, see if there's anything else. Is there anything else that stuck out to you from the movie?
Just when you think about the budget and how much they were able to do with such a limited budget, and then when you go through some of the trivia to hear how much they suffered making this movie, whether it was freezing, putting in these uncomfortable contact lenses, getting physically hurt, having to sleep in a cabin with no heat, having to burn the furniture to stay warm, putting your parents' house up as, for collateral or whatever to get the loan. All of those things. It's amazing that this movie was made for what it was made, how it was made, and their final look and final cut. I can see how a young Sam Raimi would later become a famous director.
Oh, yeah.
You can tell by this movie.
And not only that, but the cabin didn't have no cellar. The crew had to cut the door out of the floor and dug a hole beneath where they laid in like a half a staircase. The actual cellar was shot in the basement of Tappert's home. Other elements of the basement, including the room in which they find the Necronomicon, was shot in Sam Raimi's garage. So I thought that was very interesting.
So think about the way that was cut and edited, because you never go, wait a minute, that's a garage.
Yeah. So, Bond, let me ask you this. If you're the censor board, what do you think the biggest issue was for the censor board?
I would have to say probably the amount of blood.
No.
It wasn't the amount of blood?
No.
What? And it wasn't the tree raping scene?
No. Their biggest issue was the stick coming out of Scotty's abdomen as well as his broken wrist. Out of all the stuff that you would have censored, I don't know.
I don't see the broken wrist being a deal breaker at the censor board on that one.
But Bond, sadly, the crew's famous time capsule was dug up by Kentucky filmmaker Dane Sears, who is currently known for the Hopwell haunting in 2023. He showcases its remains in a YouTube video uploaded to his Quick Hill Films channel. So if you want to see that, maybe we'll try to post it when we release this.
Okay.
I think that's pretty good. So, Bond, why don't you go ahead and give us your thoughts, feelings, ratings, and prop you're taking for this movie?
Yeah, man. Like I said, I can understand this being a cult classic. This movie to me is the definition of a cult classic. You either love this movie or you hate this movie. I don't know about your wife, but my wife would last about 10, 15 minutes before she would be done with this one.
Well, when we hit the tree rape scene, I'm pretty sure my wife's gone.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably when my wife would have got up and say, yeah, I can't believe you're watching this.
Yeah.
But Jimbo said it's for the podcast. Even though I'd already seen it like 7 times. I like this movie. I think it's great. If you were to talk maybe top 20 horror movies of all time, I think this movie might make the list of top 20 horror movies of all time for me.
Really?
Yeah. If you think like your classic ghost, slasher, killer, this movie's got to be up there. It's like, okay, I need one werewolf movie, one vampire movie, one zombie movie. This has to be up there when you talk about demon possessions and things like that.
Exorcist wouldn't beat it?
Well, Exorcist would probably be like number 2 or 3 on the list. But if you look at number 19 on the list, this movie might be on that list. It's really, really cool. And I'm a special effects guy. I love
the practical
behind
effects.
the scenes on how special effects were done, especially before CGI. I like CGI. I think CGI is well done, but there's just something about a movie that had to work around that didn't have CGI at the time. So you had people offset with these like little bladders of fake blood that they would squeeze and push out to make the veins look like they were squirting or something, or the makeup effects. I love that kind of stuff. I think I give this movie an 8 out of 10. It's way up there for me. It's very entertaining. Is it well acted? Not really, but it's not so bad that it's distracting. I thought they did an okay job with the acting. With the limited budget they had, I thought they did an amazing job filming. Sam Raimi, hats off to you, man. You did a great job on this one. My prop piece, man, I don't know. I'll take the Sumerian dagger.
That's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
For me, I liked the way it was shot, man. It was just nerve wracking. Like, come on, keep it still. It's very ingenious what they did with the way it was shot. The acting is over the top at times, almost over too much. I think the practical effects are fantastic with what they did. And I guess part of me wishes it was a little bit longer or told the story a little bit longer. You know what I mean? Because it was like, oh, she's possessed. Oh, she's possessed. Oh, she's possessed. You know, and oh, he's possessed. I wish
short.
I wish it would have kind of like dove into that a little bit longer. I'm not going to say this is in my top 20 horror movies of all time, Bond. I think you're crazy for that, but I understand why it's a cult classic. I understand totally why it is. Like when they stabbed the lady in the ankle with the pencil, man, or the hill, whatever that is, that gets me every time. So for me, I think it's only about a 6.5, maybe a 7 on a good day. But you'll see when we cover the sequels or even the remake of this, the stuff that he got right later on, but he always keeps the same Ash. Ash is always just crazy and fun. So they keep that throughout the whole thing. So 6.5, 7 for me. My prop piece, man, I go back and forth with this. I would say the Necronomicon, but you know, that's cheating. I want the tape recorder. We could do the Tragedy of Cinema on that tape recorder, make people have to buy one of those just to listen to us.
Would you press play on that thing?
Well, yeah, it'd be me and you talking about it. Now, kids, if you're listening out there or anybody listening out there and you go, Bond will send me $25 and you play it over and over, Bond's probably going to send you $25 is what I heard.
You never know. You never know.
You never know what someone...
I just like the idea of either pressing play and it's all the Tragedy of Cinema.
Burn their bodies. Well, we hope you like what you heard. There's a lot more we could have covered in this. This is one of the cult classics. And I'm sure we'll do the other ones as we come down the road. Let's plug a couple of our friends' podcasts. Let's plug, how about the Evil Never Dies podcast with Brett and Carl. We love them guys. They've been pretty good friends for a while now. So head over there and give them guys a listen. Tell them Jimbo and Bond sent you. Of course, keep listening to Hillbilly Horror Stories. It helps support Tracy. We lost our good friend Jerry Polly. So Tim Mullins is releasing a lot of those episodes again. So make sure you do that. Also be on the lookout for Tim's podcast solo. It's going to be wrapping up. And then Inner Seed's going to be coming out, which is a faith-based audio drama that yours truly is part of. So we'll be promoting that later when that starts really kicking off. And what about our boys at Middle Aged Creeped Out, Todd, Sean, and Nate? Head over there and say, hey, Jimbo and Bond sent us just, all the good people that we get to meet. And if you want, you can always head over to Dark Discoveries and listen to me and Dustin and Jackie tell some tells and some different stuff over there. I think Bond likes it. It's a little bit different than this podcast. But it's definitely got its moments.
It's a great one, man. They cover everything. They cover maple syrup and mermaids.
Oh yeah.
Cover aliens, UFOs, whiskey.
And you never know. There might even be crossovers between us. I do believe we did they came on here and did Killers Clowns from Outer Space with me, and we did Real Killer Clowns on Dark Discoveries. And most recently, Bond joined us on Dark Discoveries for the true story of Boys in the Bank, the story of John Voshevich, or what's his name? I forget, Vodovich or something. Right. And then we had Dustin come on our show and we talked about the movie Dog Day Afternoon that Bond picks. So, and be on the lookout because starting, I believe, in a few short weeks in June, we will be doing our summer of sequels. We've already got some of them recorded and lined up. We can't wait to hear and release those. I mean, we're talking like, well, I'll give you one real quick just so you can look forward to it. How about Bond's pick of Meatballs 2? We'll just leave it at that. Has nothing to do with the original.
If you thought the original movies were good, you got to check out the sequels.
You ain't seen nothing yet, right?
Nothing says summer like sequels,
especially when that has nothing to do with the original. But that's for that podcast, so hopefully you stay tuned. Bond, where can they find us on the social medias?
Hey, man, I always go to Facebook and I check us out at The Tragedy of Cinema. They have great little updates and post all the time. Tragically, we also post when a actor or an actress passes away, like the great Chuck Norris did recently as we're recording this. And so when a great actor or actress passes away, you'll find out about that. We also celebrate all the holidays as they come around and have fun. And it's a great place to catch up on all of the Tragedy of Cinema shows, episodes, and talk to other fans of the program.
Right. And if you would like to get a cool Tragedy of Cinema t-shirt, you can go to TeePublic. Find us. Get one. Support us. Take a picture and throw it all over social media for us. And remember, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your frenemies.
I agree, man. Hey, are you still on Facebook? Because not only on Facebook, you can email us directly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Where?
So if you're like, hey, you know what I think about the Evil Dead? I'm talking about you, Bruce Campbell, if you're out there listening. Email us at thetragedyofcinema@gmail.com and let us know what you thought about the classic Evil Dead movie.
Yep. But with that being said, I think this episode's coming to a close, and that's a wrap.
And cut.
Mwahaha.
The tragedy of cinema, where memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. The tragedy of cinema, where memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. Those we love the most. The tragedy of cinema, where memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. To the tales we love the most. The tragedy of cinema, where memories shimmer. Join us as we toast to the tales we love the most. To the tales we love the most. Tales we love the most.
Hey, Bond, I think,
Yep.
You know what they should have had when they pressed the tape recorder? They should have had, you remember in Police Academy, I can't remember which one, where I think it's High Towers in the back of that thing going, mama. They should have had him doing the recordings.
I thought you were going to say the Evolution where they have him singing in the ball.